2020 was poised to be an unprecedented year for Middlesex, but not for the reasons you may think. September 24th, 2020, marked the beginning of Middlesex Community College's 50th anniversary and a year full of events celebrating faculty, staff, students, and alumni. Months had been spent planning a year's worth of festivities to honor our past and celebrate our future. But COVID-19 changed everything. And not just regarding our 50th celebration, it changed the way we as a community teach, learn, and live. And what we hoped would be a time to celebrate quickly changed into a time to innovate. What makes MCC such a special place is our unwavering focus on student success, our creativity, and our collaborative spirit. When the state closed down in March of 2020 and everything had to move to remote working and learning, MCC's faculty and staff immediately got to work to design, develop, and implement new ways of teaching and supporting students, corporate partners, and the community. From virtual advising sessions and online study tools to hybrid classes and virtual events, Middlesex came together as a community to continue our mission of helping students be successful. These last 12 months have illustrated how dedicated the faculty and staff are to our students and each other.
So our students have really struggled hard over the last year, and it's been our mission to reach out to those students and say, we're here, and if you can continue your education, we will do everything possible to help you. So recognizing the plight of our students has meant that we've had to make many adjustments at the college. Everything in our work life was upended. Our mission didn't change. And we are here to really be accessible, to be equitable, and to help our students be successful in their educational goals. We had been teaching online for more than 20 years and had a very strong foundation and a really strong technological core there and strong in-house capabilities. But we had to expand that rapidly, and we had to do it well.
Our emergency management team actually dates back to 2008. We were one of only 2 community colleges in the United States that received a federal grant to do emergency planning. And we went down to Texas to learn how to do this planning for an institution, and came back, and within the first few months of us having this grant in place, we were hit with the H1N1 bird flu. And our college had to start doing some planning for how to deal with a pandemic at the time, which then was going to be this bird flu that nobody knew much about. But last March, when we first started hearing about the coming of this, this new COVID-19 virus from different parts of the world, this was the entity we looked to in-house as a default to say, okay, this is a group that has done some pandemic training before, never clearly on this scale, and never with dealing with the magnitude of what we were about to face. But the team was there, so we were able to bring it, right away into action to say, okay, how are we going to get through the next couple of weeks, which was last March.
As soon as we knew that we were going to be closed that week before spring break, we immediately jumped on the phone. Our priority was our students' well-being. Are you okay? This is a big change. Let's talk about it. Let's problem solve. Our students' lives changed. They went from spending the afternoon on campus to spending the afternoon at home with a younger brother who's learning remote, with a grandparent who's home. They're caregivers now. Maybe they had the job and lost the job. Maybe they gained more hours because they were an essential worker. We did our best to reach out to every single student and walk them through the process and figure out, first, are you okay? And second, let's problem solve together and kind of work through this new way of living, this new remote world.
I've learned that a lot of us are very alike in the things that we are struggling with and our experiences, and I've learned that how important it is just to have somebody to listen or to know somebody who's going through something similar to you, and how that little common connection that you might have with somebody can make a world of difference for them. There's something that is one of the best assets of this school is that focus on community and everybody just uplifting each other when you do have those people around you. it really does make a very big difference.
Creating a community of learning and guiding students to success has long been Middlesex's mission. Over the last 50 years, our faculty have educated more than 26,000 students. For 21 of those years, we have been a leader in online education. As one of the first colleges in the state to offer online learning, MCC's experienced faculty and award-winning programs provided a foundation that played a key role in the college's ability to quickly pivot and create a way for students to finish the spring 2020 semester remotely.
There are many, many other community colleges across this country and universities and state universities that struggled because they had a significant number of faculty who had never been trained to do any form of online learning or even to use the shells in the learning management system like Blackboard or Compass or whatever each institution uses. Very different here at Middlesex because of the decades of work to develop comprehensive online programs. So when we did move to a schedule where we had already developed the fall schedule, and so what we had to do, and faculty already had their assignments, what we had to do is really do a deep dive and an analysis of those faculty members, full-time and part-time, who had already been trained to do this work online.
At the start of 2020, less than a quarter of the college's courses were being offered online. To meet these new demands of online teaching and remote work, IT distributed over 200 laptops to faculty. Our 2 instructional designers also got to work creating training modules and new support systems to help faculty redesign their curriculums. With over 530 faculty participating in these trainings, the development of a faculty mentor program, and new library resources played an integral role in helping our full-time and adjunct faculty make the switch to online teaching.
So we transitioned in March about 900 courses to online learning. So huge, going from 20% to 90% online in a matter of a week. And that's a big move, but we did it. And we did it, I would say, successfully. The first largest challenge was having instructors take their content that was face-to-face and move it online. And move it online in a way that is pedagogically sound for online learning. The strategy was offer synchronous face-to-face class or synchronous online in real time in order that it would work better for the students that really need that connection, that more face-to-face connection. So really we train faculty to develop their material for synchronous instruction for the fall. Another thing we've done at Middlesex is we implemented over the summer a faculty mentor program. So we took the experienced faculty who have taught online and we paired them with faculty that had never taught online. It was a unique experience, and we hope to continue the faculty mentor program. It was that successful.
And what was really exciting about it is it created a sort of peer collaboration that we'd not seen at the institution before. If I'm a faculty member and I'm developing a course and you are my mentor, I can turn to you and say, would you please come in and take a look at my course and see what you think? And that kind of collaboration has resulted in tremendous creativity, excellent consistency, and some real quality online education in a very short period of time, which the college can capitalize on in the future.
The libraries serve not only the students, but also the faculty and staff that are serving the students. We like to think of ourselves as a hub, both for dissemination of knowledge, but also access to resources and connecting with students. So at the onset, we wanted to be sure, again, that we created resources for faculty to aid them in the overhaul that they too would be doing to answer student need throughout the pandemic and transitioning to the online setting. That spelt for over 500 email conversations directly with faculty to aid them in either connecting to resources, suggesting resources that they could use directly for assignments that they were working on, or our library liaisons' familiarity with what gets assigned within their courses.
The library staff updated over 325 library resource guides to better support faculty and students. Their outreach to faculty fostered 16 interdepartmental partnerships and the creation of 20 faculty workshops, which resulted in MCC librarians being embedded in the online environment of 28 courses.
The librarian is listed in the Blackboard shell as a contact so that the students don't have to leave the Blackboard shell in order to reach out to a librarian. It's a very easy way for them to reach out to the librarian. So there's a whole range of services that the embedded librarian can provide, and that's proved really helpful, I think, to students.
MCC's credit programs were not the only ones impacted by Governor Baker's stay-at-home order. Our corporate education and community education and training divisions also needed to move students to a remote or socially distant learning environment. With help from an MCC alum, the corporate education division was able to create a series of new trainings designed to help employers and managers navigate working with and leading teams in an online environment.
We said, geez, everybody's struggling with Zoom, ourselves included. So we did a few test cases on ourselves. In the case, Jeff Davis, who's an alum of the college, but also a consultant for us, provided our team in corporate and community ed and institutional advancement to learn about Zoom, how to be better on Zoom. Well, once that got perfected, we took that and rolled that out to our employer partners and to other instructors that needed it.
Community education and training courses and programs were also switched to an online format. Courses with a clinical component, like nurse assisting, pharmacy technician, and local anesthesia, were taught in person, following all State Department of Public Health and CDC guidelines.
I think in some cases our employer partners are essential workers, and essential workers don't stop because of COVID. We received, some news that our employer partner, where our students received their hands-on training, closed due to COVID. So we had to switch gears, try to find another partner. We received roadblocks along the way, but that was okay. We just kept, we have a really, really strong program management team who figured it out. They found solutions.
In addition to keeping the community growing professionally, our community education team continued to offer personal enrichment opportunities for all ages. With 140 courses offered in the fall of 2020, we switched our decades-old summer program to a fully online College for Kids format. Even our program for seniors, Miles, suspended in-person events and moved to online courses to keep the seniors in our community safe.
We have, people in the community that depend on us, and with COVID, I think people really turned to us, in the case of personal enrichment classes, for some diversion. They also had an opportunity to, they had some time on their hands, they had an opportunity to learn something new.
The development of online courses and programs was only part of the puzzle. We had to develop the systems and processes needed to support the student journey. From recruiting to advising and expanded library services, we worked tirelessly to develop new ways of enrolling students and supporting them on their academic journey.
First and foremost is, despite the pandemic, despite the emergency times that we're in, MCC functions. We're still committed to you, to your goals, to your family's goals. We're committed to the community. We're operating as if nothing's changed. You'd be surprised how much we've done with our online programming to replicate what you would get in a classroom. All of our services are there: academic advising, admissions, our tutoring services, our Office of Student Engagement. I mean, we haven't shortchanged students in any capacity when it comes to what we're delivering virtually. The challenge was, how do we replicate our routine, our recruitment model that we've done for years, and do it so much in person? How do we replicate that in a virtual platform? How do we do that? So as an office, we all met. We met that first week, that second week, just to hash out, well, what tools do we even have to make this possible? All of our services were being offered just in a remote capacity, and that we were committed to making sure students still fulfill their goals of enrolling at the college and graduating and meeting their needs. We did virtual open houses this past fall. We're doing 2 this spring. I've done, and my colleagues have done, virtual online application sessions where we do a simulation of the online application and share our screen. We'll have 20 to 30 students from various high schools, and we'll go through screen by screen the online application process and help those students actually hit submit.
So when COVID hit, we were able to transition to virtual services pretty quickly. we were able to set up virtual service via Zoom, where students can really just drop in, ask a few questions, and then connect one-on-one with an advisor, and we can take them through the entire academic planning process and registration process. So everybody at the college, whether it's admissions, advising, our enrollment teams, have been really working together to really simplify the process for students.
If you were to separate what the libraries do into two different departments, it would be primarily student-facing, circulation and reference. We've seen over 6,000 extended conversations across both departments throughout the pandemic. And again, I attribute that to our librarians' presence within the classroom, either being welcomed into the classroom via virtual means, such as a Zoom call, and having an instruction that way, or being embedded within the actual Blackboard course. Throughout the pandemic thus far, students have borrowed over 2,000 items, physical items from the libraries, and that's attributed to curbside. So when I'm talking about library items, it's the things that we have on the shelves, but curbside also goes beyond that into printouts. A lot of students normally would use our space to study, and of course that includes printing services. We still provide those services. We still provide them free. Students are able to schedule through a new platform that we've implemented within the library website.
I did use the library's resources for doing like research papers and things like that, which was very helpful. And I've also used, or not used, but I have met with advisors and they've been amazing. So I work in the Multicultural Center. My role has been trying to get students more engaged and help with the online experience and just kind of trying to foster that MCC community that we have here, but doing it online.
We were really very fortunate to be able to have a team through the enrollment working group that worked very closely to address every service that the college offers that the student needs to have to be successful and make sure that that service was completely available to them. Our first year experience course, our admissions office has been incredibly creative in online Zooms and opportunities for families and students to access admissions opportunities. We've done a lot of texting and outreach and phone calls to our stop-outs who basically said to us, I'm interested in completing my education. I'm just not interested in doing that in a fully online environment. And when the college has more face-to-face classes, then I'll be coming back to the institution to complete my degree if I have the financial resources to do so. This has been a tremendous interruption for many, many students and their college education, and it's our responsibility to welcome those students back as we are available to do so and as they have the financial means to really access and complete their education.
Next time on An Anniversary Like No Other.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge going remote has been preserving that one-on-one interaction, that feeling of connection that staff and faculty have with students at Middlesex through a computer screen.
We saw that the students were struggling with using the technology, like more than we thought that they would be.
Despite the challenges of the pandemic and going online, we still continue to make significant progress in addressing the needs of the students socially, emotionally, and academically.